Hey everybody, welcome back to Investing with Wesley. To be honest, I've been dealing with some just baggage over the past couple weeks, and it's led me to make this video. Over the past couple weeks, I've caught myself just dreading and stressing over my financial situation. I'm stressing over the fact that I'm not where I want to be. I think my savings and my income levels are behind what my goals should be or what the average is. And I see every day on Instagram, TikTok, and other social media, a bunch of these other young individuals who are seemingly extremely wealthy, have Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and going on these massive cruises and sailing around the world and so on, and it makes me think that I am just incredibly far behind. So in today's episode, I want to talk about some metrics that you and me can both use to determine exactly how far ahead or behind we really are, or if we're right on pace to what the averages are. So with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so like I said, I feel like I'm stressing out and I'm overthinking the fact that I feel like I'm falling behind, when in reality, the numbers show that I'm really not. And in today's episode, I want to go over what those numbers are, starting with the US's median income. Now, you might not be in the US watching this, so go based on your country's statistics. But YouTube Analytics says about 85% of my viewers are from the US, so we're gonna go with these numbers instead. In today's episode, we're gonna be comparing our current financial situations to the US's averages. We're gonna be looking at the US median income, the US consumer debt amount, the US savings rate, and the average amount that is in everyone's savings accounts. Now, right off the bat, we see that the US averages actually look pretty grim all by themselves. The average annual income is $52,000 a year based on a study that was done in 2022. But the average consumer debt amount to include mortgages is $58,000. So people have more debt than they do money in a year. The current median income is growing at an average pace of 7% per year, while the current consumer debt is increasing at about 9% per year. The total United States savings rate is just under 5%. It's at 4.7%. And about 50% of individuals in America have less than $5,000 in their savings accounts. So those are the numbers that we're going to be comparing ourselves to today, and those are the numbers I want you to compare yourself and your situation to as well. So let's take a look at some of my numbers. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly how much I make in a year, but I can tell you that it is over the $52,000 mark, so I'm considered above the US average. My US consumer debt is unfortunately higher than the $58,000 that most average Americans have. My current debt amount is roughly $300,000, but a vast majority of that really comes from my mortgage. So taking mortgages out of it, my debt is below that limit. My debt is somewhere around $30,000 if I don't factor in my mortgage. The US's savings rate is just about 5%. But my personal savings rate, to include my investments, is about 15%. So the US average, including investments, people save about 5% of their income, whereas I'm currently about 15% of my income. So by most of these metrics, I am doing better than the national average. But you also have to really think about who is it that you're comparing yourself to. Like I said, I've seen on TikTok, on Instagram, and various social medias, even here on YouTube, so many people that seemingly are just doing way better than I am. Seemingly are younger, have way more disposable income, are living a way better lifestyle, and I have to remind myself that I am not competing with those individuals. Now, internally, I might consider myself competing with them just as a game, but in reality, I'm not competing with them. And really, there's two big things wrong with what you see on social media. One is that is a highlight reel. So people are posting their favorite moments. Chances are the accounts that you follow that are full of luxury-esque type photographs and videos are one of two things. Either they're just the highlight reels and the day for day is not as exciting as what it appears to be on Instagram, or unfortunately they're kind of like a scam account who has all these fake lifestyle photographs to try and win you over and push some sort of product down your throat. It could also be people trying to build their brand, so they're renting all those bells and whistles and all those cool things to make their lifestyle seem more top tier to really market their brand even more. but chances are it's not their day-to-day, it's not 100% real. And I really wanted to create this video to remind you guys and myself that competing with external sources like that is really a bad way to go about doing things. Sure, it's great motivation, it's super flashy, and it's amazing things to put on your vision board, but trying to mirror your life or saying you're far behind where you should be just because you see someone else's highlight reel on Instagram is a bad way to live your life and manage your finances. Competing with yourself is a lot less motivating, it's a lot less exciting than what you see. That's why a lot of people love sports and naturally have this competitive edge, because external competition is so motivating and so exhilarating. But really what you need to be focusing on, especially when it comes to growing your wealth and your finances over time, is those internal sources. At the end of the day, you're only competing with yourself. Someone else might have a totally different lifestyle, a totally different upbringing, a totally different product, a totally different set of values. You have no idea the kind of person that's behind the screen. So it makes no sense to try and compete with them when you don't even know if you're technically in the same league together. So really, at the end of the day, what you should be asking yourself is, am I saving more this year than I was last year? Am I making more this year than I was last year? And if you're not, are you making up for it in other aspects? As an example, I could be saving 100% of my income and earning way more if I worked myself to death, but then my health would struggle. So maybe you're in a situation where you're saving less this year than you were last year, but it's because you joined a gym and you're spending a lot of time at the gym getting your health in order, and that means less time working on your business or your side hustle or something like that. Really, at the end of the day, this is all a balancing act, and you have to realize that you're only competing with your past self and no one else. And if you haven't already picked up the subtle message here, we're not just talking about finances. You're competing with your past self at every single level. Sure, this is a finance and investing channel, so we're talking about the money aspect of it, but it could also be talking about your health, the fitness. It could be talking about stuff you wanting to learn. Are you closer to speaking another language this year than you were last year? Things like that. You're always competing against yourself, and every year you should strive to work towards bettering yourself in whatever that looks like towards you. So this is my reminder to you guys and myself: don't feel overwhelmed, don't feel stressed, don't feel like you're falling behind, because there is no real timeline. Only focus on where you are personally, and make sure you're not stagnant or going downwards in the wrong direction without good reason. Always strive to be and do better, but never strive to be better than anyone else. I hope you got value in this video. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps this channel get out there. I have a dedicated Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter account, so feel free to follow me there, send me a message, or just leave a comment down below. Either way though, the choice is yours, and I'll see you in the next episode.